What's up? What's up? It's the Arthur Moats Experience with Deke. I'm Arthur Moats, and that's my main man, Deke.
What's up, man?
Man, we got fresh shaved Deke in the house, man. No glasses, man. Who you trying to look good for, man?
No, man.
What's going on, man?
Switching it up. Just switching
Yeah,
up.
you didn't change. Yeah. I almost saying, I'm like, who is this man at my door?
You did say new cut.
Yeah, man. You look smooth, man.
No new cut. Just the fresh shave.
Hey, Deke said, look, in the face of adversity, we're not 13-3. We're not 15-1. In the face of adversity, I'm gonna look good. I'm gonna stay sharp. You ain't gonna have me out here looking all willy-nilly. Nah. Deke said, I don't need no glasses today. I don't have no Red Sox hat for all y'all Red Sox people that was coming at me. Don't worry about all that. I'm good to go.
It's just the front, dude. I'm hurt.
Hey.
I'm hurting. I might as well be out on the street. Just
man.
In a back alley, just getting rained on, scrapping for food. That's how I feel on the inside. I'll clean cut on the outside. I'm hurting right now, though.
Well, we're gonna be therapeutic today. All right.
Yeah.
So, do you want to start with the good or the bad?
I don't know. There's a lot we could talk about.
So,
what did you want to talk about?
Well, first? First we'll just do a brief recap of the game. Then we can get into the bad,
the hot topics.
Yeah, then we can end it on a high note, on a positive. So, for those that don't know, Steelers lost in overtime to the Ravens yesterday, 26-23. Justin Tucker field goal, which was crazy because the leg was about to be missing. It like it was gonna be a miss.
He playing that, man. He playing that.
Said, "Let me hurt your hearts real quick." Oh, wide left? I think not, my friend. Oh, and he took great pleasure in that. That's Tucker for you.
You could see it in his face, yeah.
Oh, without a doubt, he loved it. It sucked. Yeah, it definitely sucked, man. But just overall, some of the positives I thought from that game, the defense continued to be playing lights out, creating their turnovers.
Yeah.
Making Lamar Jackson do what we said in terms of having to be a passer. And he proved what we were saying. He will hit you in the face with the ball.
Yeah.
Just catch it. That's it. Just catch it.
Yep.
Yeah, man.
Other than that, I really like Duck. I mean, we could probably get into that a little bit later.
Well, yeah.
But the defense, dude, like they played awesome to me.
Yeah.
That's what makes this game, this loss, so frustrating because the first couple games, it wasn't completely there. You saw subtle signs. And then the Bengals game, you're like, okay, if this is how it's going to be, we got a shot.
Absolutely.
At least making the playoffs. Like, all right, are we going to beat KC or Brady on the road?
Well, you never know, man.
You at least want the chance at it. You
at least
know.
let me get in the dance.
You
That's
never
the big
know.
thing.
You never know.
You can't win it all without being there.
Right.
So, yeah.
They did it again this week. And if you look at, I went back and kind of thought about it. The Wildcat play, after the Wildcat play, the Ravens scored a touchdown, so 7 points there. And then, damn it, man. This just frustrates me. The Oladani sack.
Yeah.
They get the field goal off that, which should have never happened.
But that was later in the game, though.
It was later in the game. I'm just going off points that the defense didn't
give up. Yeah.
Obviously, the penalty happens.
Yes.
And that's 15 yards, though, and momentum shift. I think that was the second down. Like, that would have been a big, third and long there.
Yeah.
And then the 3 points in overtime wouldn't have happened if the penalty and the field goal didn't happen. So,
and the Juju fumble, that's what happened in overtime.
So, right. Yeah. So that's, 13 points right there. 13 minus 26. So 13 legitimate points from the defense. That's pretty impressive. I thought eye test was there, and then me saying all this to you, breaking down, looking back, what the points were and everything. I think it was all there, and the stats.
No, I agree, man. I think when you look at this defense, they came out definitely kind of like how I thought it would be. I said initially I thought that the Ravens would get to a fast start just because you haven't seen this offense in full speed. It's different practicing against it. It's different watching it on film. When you are out there and it's the first time you're seeing that spread option, it happens fast. And the thing that I equated to is when you look at the collegiate level, everybody runs the spread, right? So everybody's used to it. But when you see a team come out in traditional wing T formation like you see the military academies do, Army, Navy, it takes teams a little bit of time to adjust. And you saw that taking away the Jalen Samuels interception. Even with that, though, they still got out to a fast start. Those first three drives, they score on.
Yeah.
And after that, you could see where the defense adapted to it. They got comfortable with it. The play calling, the coaching staff adapted. They got comfortable. They started making better calls. And everything led to that defense having the type of performance that they did. But that's when you face an offense that you typically don't see, it does have a little adjustment period. But I think this defense is starting to come into their own. And when people bash them early in the season, oh man, they're busts. They're not as good as they should be. The thing I kept telling people was, you cannot say because New England came on, they're hot, that this team isn't as good or this team isn't prepared. I'm like, every team takes a different amount of time to gel, to connect. And you can't just go off for preseason. You can't just go off for 1 or 2 games. It takes time for these guys to adapt. I said, they really hadn't even had a time where all those guys had the same starting lineup for multiple weeks. Think about that, man. Like 1 week you're without your starting safety and Sean Davis. The next week he's out there, but now you're without one of your linebackers. Then the following week you bring in a whole new safety who, granted, is a better talent, but hadn't been in that defense. Right. So it was just always a moving piece. Whereas now you're seeing these guys a couple of weeks together, starting to come together. And then Vince Williams wasn't out there for a couple of weeks. You saw him back in the leadership that he brought. So that was my biggest thing when we talked about this defense. I'm like, man, just give it time. And you're starting to see with time, they can be a special group. Now, offensively, they've been going through the ringer because we talked about how they lose their starting quarterback. Then after that, they lose their backup quarterback. Mm-hmm. So it's just been a ton of adversity they're facing as well. But even with that being said, I still thought they did a phenomenal job yesterday, both with Mason and when Devlin came in. And that was the thing that just shows you how talented this team truly is. And in the past couple of games, it's only a handful of plays that are the difference between this team having a winning record and this team sitting at 1-4. And that's the thing that's promising. Man. But I don't look at it as fresh. I look at it as promising because if you're going through all this adversity, it's not like it's not like this the Dolphins where they're getting blown out. These are things that are going to get corrected, and they aren't catastrophic things that need to get corrected. It's little things. And you're looking at, okay, we're sitting at 1-4. They can easily fix these things as the season goes along. And when we talked about that division being weaker in the AFC North, they still have hope. That's what I'm saying. Like, for me, I'm not sitting here thinking like all hope is lost. Like, I think that they have to address these issues without a doubt.
Yeah.
But it's definitely promising what they're putting on tape right now.
I'm definitely with you. It's just really frustrating sitting at 1-4 because at this point, no more mistakes can be made. Pretty much. Well, you probably have room for 2 more losses, 2 or 3 more.
Well, and think about it. If you had 2 more losses, you're still sitting at 10-6.
But we talked about this maybe 2 podcasts ago whenever we were looking through the upcoming games.
Absolutely.
So let's just say this is one of those losses I talked about. You split one of those games.
Yeah.
All right, wait, did I say it was only 1 loss or 2? I can't remember.
I think you said 2.
2 losses. Yeah. So we could still be 500 after this stretch because it's like Dolphins and some of these other teams.
Absolutely.
Chargers don't look as good right now. I think this is definitely a winnable game. Yeah. So get back to 500, 4-4.
And that's the thing. It's like, granted, the time is pressing. You know what I mean? It's getting closer to that hour of, hey, we can't have any more. But this team, they still have time. They're only 2 games into the division. Like, think about that. They're still going to see everybody multiple times. So that's why, for me, I'm like, is it concerning? Yes. But do I feel like, put it like this, my feeling right now compared to when Ben first went down is drastically different. When Ben first went down, I was like, man, we got a lot of concerns. Can they address these things? What they've been putting on tape thus far, I'm like, this team can easily still get the job done. They definitely, like I said, though, when your talent continues to slip, you have to operate with more detail. In terms of the fumbles, you can't have the turnovers. In terms of the missing on big play opportunities, you have to capitalize on these things. That's the only thing that I want to see more of and them getting better at, because you don't have the luxury of just saying, well, look, man, I got AB over here, I got L Bell over here, I'm just going to roll the ball out, give it to them, we'll make something happen. That's not happening. So you have to, when the opportunity arises, capitalize on it, and you have to minimize your mistakes because you don't have that type of talent anymore.
No, definitely. Well, I will say this about the offense is whenever they were out there and And Mason was, I mean, they did their thing for the amount of time that they had the ball. It was tough because the Ravens were controlling the ball for a decent amount of time. But whenever
that's their offense,
whenever we did have it, like, shout out to them for moving the ball and gashing them for a little bit. And then, I mean, we do have, I don't know if you wanted to get into this quick, but with Mason going down and Duck coming in, we both said that they look good, but is there a QB controversy now?
I personally don't think so right now, just because the similar situation that we talked about when Mason came in and he looked great. Was Baltimore preparing for Devlin Hodges, or was Baltimore preparing for Mason Rudolph? Just answer me that question. Which one were they preparing for? Who were they preparing for?
They were preparing for Mason.
And who was Duck preparing for, though? Was Duck preparing for the backup safety, the backup linebacker, or was he preparing for the Baltimore Ravens starting defense?
He's preparing for them.
So one looks very prepared and one looked like they were learning on the fly, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
so for me, I need to see what he looks like if he plays on Sunday. If he's the starter on Sunday,
I feel like that's a given right now, right?
Well, I'm not a doctor, so I don't even want to get into that. And even with Josh Allen, you think Josh Allen he got knocked out as well, and he ended up playing and led those guys in Buffalo to a win versus the Titans. So for me, I'm just kind of like, it looked bad. Obviously, he was out cold, and he was out for a little bit of time as well. But you just never really know. And with it being a Sunday night game, that is the added element to it. So that's why I'm just like, hey, if he's back, I personally want to put him out there right away, just because I've seen too many guys get knocked out like that, and I've seen how it affects them going forward in terms of them being scared to get hit, in terms of them reacting slower, in terms of them second guessing a lot of things. So if that's the situation, I personally would rather have Hodges out there on Sunday just to give him more time to recover. But I need to see Hodges in a game as the starter where the team is prepared for him. And even with that, I mean, you got to think he came in it was the fourth? It
was the middle of the third.
Yeah.
Yep.
So even with that, I still think that he should have success versus Chargers defense if he's the guy, just because it's still the sample size is small, which is good. That benefits it, and that's why I'm still excited. So I'm like, I like that. But in terms of QB controversy, let me see him when somebody's prepared. Like imagine this, man. You're preparing to fight me. I'm preparing to fight you. But hey, I sub out, and I'm gonna bring in, my neighbor. I'm gonna bring in Mark. He gonna come in and fight you. You've never seen him, but he's preparing for you too. He gonna do some stuff to you. You can be like, dang, man, like this sucks. You know what I mean? He looks great. So that's for me. I'm just like, let me just see.
I think that's a good point. Because we could very well see a full game of Duck Hodges here just by default.
Absolutely.
So maybe we are jumping the gun with this. Yeah. But what I will say, I texted you this. Right. You asked me it. I told you how I felt. Yeah. And shout out to John.
Absolutely. For Banger. Still a gang in the building.
He told us preseason you could go back on record. We mentioned it on the podcast. He said there's something about Duck Hodges.
Yeah.
I've seen him in training camp. He looks calm out there. And it's funny too. I'm literally just laying on the couch watching the game with my dad. He walks in and he's like, "Who is this guy? He looks calm as hell out there." Yeah. And there was an it factor, I thought.
Okay.
With Duck being out there. With Mason, I don't know why. This is the sample size of what it's been, 3-4 games. I feel like whenever we're driving, whenever we got the ball on offense, I feel lucky that we're getting first downs and moving the chains. I'm like,
now is that because of the expectations
my expectations are really, I'd say they're low. It's just like, all right, whatever we do, we do.
But then when Hodges comes in, because of the injury, because of everything else, you're just kind of like, we ain't got nothing to lose. Whatever happens.
Maybe there's that. But whenever he was out there, I think his confidence rubbed off on me a little bit. Maybe
that's what it was.
That calmness, and I was like, he looked like a mini Favre or like a Baker when he's good. He almost looks like Baker when he's good out there. At least in that game. He's good. Yeah, in that game, because you never know what could happen.
Right.
So I don't know. There might be something to him that.
Hey, all I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just caution you like we've done in the past, right? Remember when Mason came out there? And that whole week when they found out Ben was done, you go through the initial shock of like, oh God, the season's over. And then we went through the wave of He's the franchise.
No.
Think about it. No, seriously. Just think about it. And they were like, hey, Maddox went down, Ben comes in. This happens, that. Remember all these, and what did I say? Remember, I was like, people are calling me a hater right now because all I'm saying is, let's just wait. You can have optimism, but let's be cautious. That's all I said. And people viewed me crazy. On all the radio shows I do, our podcast, it was like, yo, why are you saying that? You don't believe in them? How can you not? Yeah, you must not be a fan. And then week 3 of him being out there, the narrative changed drastically, right? On Mason. So all I'm saying is the same thing with Hodges. Hey, you can be optimistic. All I'm saying is be cautious. Let's see what he looks like in a larger sample size. Because when I think about his sample size right now, he looked good in 2 of the preseason games and then looked terrible in 1 preseason game. He looked good in his 8, he had 9 passes. He looked good. He was 7 for 9. He looked good in that little bit of time. Let's see what he looks like in a full game. That's all I'm saying. Before we start farving on Baker Mayfield him and all this other stuff, that's all I'm saying.
I'm just for that. So this is what I'm going to bring up. Those are what my eyes were telling me as I was watching. Yeah. Right. So whenever we have the ball, it went from this whole, man, I'm just happy we're getting first downs, we're moving, let's get a field goal, to all right, let's effing go. So I'm saying he's just,
maybe that's your expectations though, because I never felt like that.
Time out. Well, here's the thing too. He's not replacing Ben either. Is there something?
Okay, that might be it. If the roles were reversing as Mason coming in for Duck, you'd have been, oh yeah, there we go. Because you're not threatened by Duck taking Ben's spot. Let's be real.
True. It's
right. Whereas if Mason balled out, now you're threatened that, hey, that means Ben might not be the guy anymore. I see. It's starting to make sense now.
The deeper things coming out.
It's making sense.
Here's the thing. So aside from that, those were what my eyes were telling me. Yeah. Right? But the stats kind of back me up too.
Okay.
Because we got the QBR. Duck.
Jeez.
96.7 QBR. Mason.
Yeah.
46.6 for that game.
Okay.
For the first 3-4 games in totality, 46.8.
Yeah.
And then in that Seahawks game where he came in, similar scenario to Duck, the QBR was 51. So we talked about this before. That QBR takes in account for some other things that maybe a little more accurate.
Hey man, believe what you need to believe, baby. That's all I'm gonna say, man. Hey. The funny thing is this: you look at the numbers long enough, you can make them say whatever you want them to say.
No, but what I'm saying is, my eyes were telling me one thing, and then the numbers are sort of backing them up.
All I'm saying is, you can make an argument with those same numbers in terms of Ola Adeni and his winning percentage in terms of like getting to the quarterback. That technically his numbers are better than Von Miller in terms of how many plays it takes him to get to the quarterback. I'm just throwing it out there. If we're just going off of them, just be cautious.
What are your eyes telling you though for Ola versus Vaughn?
He was winning. I saw it factor. He made a play in a prime time moment. That's all I'm saying, man. Be cautious. Trust me, I want Duck to do good because if Duck does good, that makes it better for us because we get something fun to talk about. We don't want to talk about losses.
No.
That makes it fun. But just be cautious. And I tell people all the time, you can have optimism. You can want a guy to do good. But still maintaining realistic expectations for him and not putting Favre or something crazy on him, and then he goes out there and underperforms.
Mini Favre.
And you're just like, dang, like you said he was gonna be like that.
Poor man's Favre right now.
Oh man.
So end of the day, hypothetical is both of them are good to play.
Okay.
This Sunday.
Yeah.
You're taking Mason.
No, if both of them are good to play, I still don't know. Just because he was cold, like out cold.
Yeah. No. What let's say that's aside.
What you mean that's aside?
Like that's this. We're talking hypothetical world here.
But this is my issue because this is the only way I'm hypothetical. I'm like, okay, if we don't have him this week, then that's the only reason why Hodges even got in the game to even show what he showed.
Right.
But off of the quarter and 3 or 4 minutes that we saw, is that enough to say that I would rather him be out there than Mason? For me, I don't think that's enough, and I can assure you I don't think the coach think that's enough, because if that was the case they would have been made that move when they brought Hodges back. That's all I'm saying. But then in my mind I'm like, okay, the other hypothetical is if this is after the bye week, okay, but how did Duck do in his game versus the Chargers? Was it an average game? Or was it one of those Gardner Minshew games? Or was it a Josh Dobbs versus the Raiders game? Like,
true.
This is what all those factors have to play into that, man. It gets hard to just say, hey, what would you put? You saw Duck for a quarter in 3 minutes. You're willing to just sell the farm and say he's the guy.
I'd do it. I'd put him in for the Chargers.
Okay. So my question is this then. Why did you wait?
Well, I don't know. I'm not the coach.
No. Remember, hypothetical, because you said that this is what you would do. So tell me, why would you have waited this long?
I guess you got a few things. Undrafted rookie.
What does that mean?
This is his first year in the system.
He has the it factor, though. It doesn't matter.
He might, but I guess you could say the same thing about like Romo or some of these other quarterbacks that slip through the cracks.
No, not at all. Come on.
Well, what about Brady though? He was.
What you mean?
Drafted 6th round. He barely made the team. He was 4th string.
That's fine, but he didn't. It wasn't. Oh, Bledsoe went down and he played in for a quarter, and you make that move after that. No, that wasn't the case. Brady had went out there and showed for multiple times, and it was like, okay, that's our guy. It wasn't a, hey man, I like that quarter and a half you played, or that quarter and 4 minutes, baby. I think you the guy.
I think we need to call up John on this, and
hey,
I think he'd be backing me up a little bit.
listen. I don't have an issue with people having certain feelings about it, because these are the same people that believe the certain thing about Mason. And that's what I'm saying, man. You can believe what you want. I just try to be the voice of reason, that way you don't hurt. I don't want you to get in that dark place. When things don't go right, you get down, and it makes me sad. It makes me concerned, man.
That's the thing. I'm already down, and this is just like my last ditch effort.
Yeah, see, and I'm trying to help you put it the right way. You feel me?
I should be more calm.
Yeah.
Not like.
You're erratic right now. You're erratic.
I am.
Yeah, it makes me nervous when you're erratic, man. Don't be erratic. Like, without a doubt, if Duck comes in here on Sunday and he plays like how we saw him play, well, then without a doubt, okay, now you got some conversation.
I was gonna say, so maybe it's jumping the gun a little bit, saying it is controversy. Yes. But I think all signs are, I'd say 80-90% chance he's playing. So
okay, fair enough. Yeah,
we'll see what happens. And this could be a discussion for another day. Then,
and trust me, I would love for it to be him ball out, because then was better than one good quarterback, two good quarterbacks. That's how I look at it. And if you got those two guys competing, that's good, because the best is going to perform and the best is going to rise out of that situation. Is ultimately going to help the offense, which has been struggling throughout the season. Even when they look good, they still haven't looked good. Like, we talk about them scoring the 23 points and they were moving the ball, whatever. Well, cool. But they still couldn't run the ball.
Right.
That's an issue that's been lingering all season. The O-line still isn't getting that movement up front. The guys on the outside still aren't consistently winning. And those are the things I'm concerned about still. So I'm like, hey, man, if Hodges come in, he light it up and he get them to do that, well, great. Like, I'm all for that.
It'd be that it factor that probably does it.
Hey, whatever you want to call it, man. I hope he eats his Lucky Charms and he wears his magic socks and he grows a cool mullet or whatever he needs to do to make it happen, man. Whatever it is, I don't care. Just make it work.
Absolutely. Yeah. So we got more topics for the game for sure.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
What did you want to touch on next?
Man, well, I think we can get to the elephant in the room, right? The hit.
Yeah.
That was the lightning rod topic since it happened yesterday, even all throughout today, national media, Steelers media, that's what everyone wants to talk about. So just tell me, like, what was your perception of the hit, man? Your feelings on it? Was it clean? Was it dirty?
Yeah, well, my initial reaction, I remember texting you this. I'm like, what'd you think about the hit? Looked like he went a little high. Mm-hmm. And whenever you said to me, he led with like his arms, and it was just more like his helmet accidentally hit Mason's helmet.
And it was due to the cat pushing Mason in the back. It wasn't like Earl is jumping, like Earl's off the ground without a doubt. Cool. But the dude behind him clearly is pushing Mason, which leads to that contact.
Right. And that's the thing that's probably so hard for defenders, because I'm saying to you, man, why couldn't you just go for like the midsection instead of just staying up high and maybe going off your tippy toes a little bit, because that, I guess, enhances the chance of hitting the helmet. But you go low, ACL, he makes some type of different movement. Mm-hmm. You pop out a knee, like that stuff's, I think from a football perspective, I heard that's even worse.
Oh, trust me, you as 97% of the athletes, give me a concussion over blowing out my knee any day.
Yeah.
because you can come back from the concussion. You blow out that knee, nah, buddy, no pass go. It's done. It's over. As Victor Cruz, when he dislocated his patella and tore his knee up, when he tried to come back, was he ever the same? Ask him would you rather got hit in the head and just had a concussion right there, or would you rather have blown your knee out? Give me the concussion any day.
Yeah.
And that's the consensus, man, because the knees, man, the lower body is just different. That affects how you perform.
Right.
The concussion is still serious, and we understand like the ramifications with it, but you can come back and play. Like, and that's where for guys, they're like, yo, just give me the opportunity to come back and play.
Yeah. If
you blow out my knee, I'm done for the year. Like Mason right now, as bad as that looked, we're saying what? It could be a couple weeks. If he blow out his knee right now, it'd be, man, we're hoping that he walks again. We're hoping that maybe next year he can come back and be close to what he was. It's a different conversation. So that's why dudes always like, man, hit me high, please.
Mm-hmm.
And think about just how people view it when it's a receiver coming across the middle. So everybody talked about Burfict. Remember when he had knocked out AB in the playoff game? Imagine if he would have went at AB's knees and blew his knee out. Just think about how people would have viewed that. And he wouldn't have got flagged for it either, because that would have been a clean hit, quote unquote, right?
Right.
Those are the things, like, as athletes, why we always have the issues with the rules in that regard, offensively and defensively. But then the fan perspective is always drastically different, because it's viewed, like how fans view it, it's slow motion, it's microscope, oh, long-term effects, oh, what about this, what about that? And there's so many other factors. And I think that's why it's always that disconnect initially. And even when we talk about the hit, like in particular that hit, you felt it was dirty, right? Or you felt it, like, what'd you feel about it?
It was just the initial reaction. Whenever I saw it, I was just like, I don't know, because here's the thing. I'm a Steelers fan.
Mm-hmm.
So it's another player taking out one of our guys.
No.
Because here's the thing.
Not the aftermath of the hit, just the hit itself. You didn't think anything of it?
No, that's what I was trying. I had to see it more.
Yeah.
But like seeing him on the ground like that
changed your perspective.
And then seeing the hit after in replay, I'm like, shit, come on, man.
Yeah.
Like, but that's why I texted you.
Right. And for me, I guess this is where I always had the issue with that. First off,
but I'm more on your side now. Yeah. Like after you saying that and after seeing the replay again and again,
mm-hmm.
what I was gonna say is like you got Harrison making that hit on like Massaquoi. Steeler fan. Oh yeah.
No. I'll take you one or earlier than that or recent than that. Bud Dupree, when he hit Russell Wilson, Seahawks game. I'll pull up the clip when we're done.
Okay.
Like helmet down, assault. Like the difference was Russell didn't get hurt. They called a pass interference call. No one talked about it.
Right.
Bud ends up getting fined for it, but no one talks about it. If Russell would have fell out and been out cold, it would have been kick him out the league. That's a dirty hit. How could you do that? Earl Thomas hit nowhere near the violence or the punishment given to what Bud did. Yeah.
Oh, so you're saying there's a Steeler anti-bias here?
Absolutely. Okay. And I'll say this.
I was trying to say from a fan standpoint, I'm just trying to be more level-headed, because if it was reversed mm-hmm. and let's say Minka took out Lamar Jackson, I don't think Steeler fans would be saying that much.
They wouldn't.
Yeah.
And I would say this.
But you're saying the total league ramifications would be worse for the Steelers.
Absolutely. But this is my biggest thing, man. It's like people react to the result of the hit more so than the hit.
Oh, 100%.
In terms of this, if Mason just hits the ground and bounces back up, first off, it's no flag because the dude didn't even throw the flag.
Hell of a play.
Yeah, you're saying that. You're saying, hey, he stood in there, threw it, took a hit on the chin. Great. Toughness. I like that. It factor. But because you see him get knocked out and he's laying there lifeless, and then you see Juju run over there and fall out and all the guys going crazy, then what happens? Flag comes out. Now we start doing, let's keep replaying. Let's talk about it more. Let's slow motion it. Now look at, man, it's not a dirty hit. It had to be dirty if he's knocked out, right? And the thing that it reminded me of is this. Say you got a homeboy, right? He's just casually walking across the street. Not in the crosswalk. It's 3 a.m. He's just casually walking across the street, gets hit by a car, he gets hurt. Even though he was in the wrong for being in the middle of the road at 3 a.m, it's dark, and you couldn't even see him. He got hit. He got hurt. You don't care. You feel like, hey, that driver got to pay. I want justice. Now, was the driver in the wrong, though? Did the driver go out here and, I'm trying to hurt this dude? Like, no. The dude was in the wrong, right? But your emotions that are attached to it, you just like, I don't care. I need justification. I want him hurt. I want something done.
Yeah.
And that's what you see with Earl. They're like, I'll throw him out the game, fine him, suspend him, perfect him. I'm like, for that? And then I'm like, y'all were the same people that's applauding Bud hitting this cat. Bud hitting Russell Wilson. When I'm gonna show you the play.
Or even another one I'm thinking is the Ryan Shazier hit on who was it?
On Giovanni Bernard.
Is that yeah in the playoff game?
Absolutely. You seeing those? That's like me driving 100 miles an hour and I see you in the street and I'm gunning for you. and because I'm your boy, you like, come on, Wilson wasn't even that bad, bro. Man, you all right, bro. Hey, man, he shouldn't have been out there. He all right. Like, you see the difference, and that's my biggest thing. I'm always like, I understand the rules. I understand y'all want justice and things like that, but just sometimes you have to take the emotion out of it and just look that way. Because for you to say that hit by Earl is dirty or he needs to be kicked out or he intentionally, I'm like, bro, you can't say that when you just turned around and was applauding this cat for something way worse. And then I'll even take you. And then for me, I look at it this way too. You react in that way solely because of him going lifeless. If he's not lifeless, we're not even talking about this play. And if anything, we're talking about how he stood there and threw the ball. And that's always my biggest issue when it comes to this. And like you said, it's not popular, especially in Steelers world. It's not popular because you're not allowed to go against anything that, hey, if Steelers feels that way, if it didn't benefit the Steelers, you can't be for that. Like, that's just how it is.
I know.
So for me, I'm always like, hey, you can hate it, you can love it. I'm just telling you how it is. That's just the facts of it, man. And that's how I felt about that hit, man.
No, definitely. I'm with you.
Yeah. I'm going to pull up this play while we up here. I'm going to show you this joint, man.
Well, while you're pulling it up, can I get on another thing here?
Let's do it, baby.
These refs, man.
Trash. Toilet. Trash. Toilet bowl. Garbage.
That was the other thing that really got me was the play. That play. Well, here's the thing. Here's I'm just gonna throw this out there. If we're gonna do the whole, you can challenge the pass interference. Why not just challenge every penalty then?
True.
Because that hit on Lamar Jackson was so clean. Like what
I agree.
What about it was dirty or rough in the pass? Whatever they called.
I think for me, the thing that I initially thought was, okay, if the referee, depending on his position, once Ola initiated the contact, he was at his waist without a doubt. But if you caught it at the end when he's sliding down to his legs and wrapping him up, that's the only thing I could think of. But like you said, the biggest thing when it comes to if you open up to challenge everything, now
holding.
Well, I would say that's the next thing, and then you just think about how long the games are going to be on top of that. And
you're right. That was a knee jerk reaction.
Yeah, and I tell people all the time too. I'm like, hey, if you really go down and go by the lay of the land in terms of all the penalties that can be reviewed and stuff like that, I'm like, yo, literally
holding.
It's a holding on every call. It's a offensive pass interference or a defensive holding on every call. Like, that's just how it is. And sometimes, like I said, man, sometimes the calls are going to go for you. Sometimes they're going to go against you. But you can't just live off the knee jerk after everything. Oh, I want to switch it to that now. Like, that's just a part of it. That's the nature of the game, man. That's the human error element of the game as well.
It is, definitely. It's just frustrating because that's, in my opinion, how they won the game.
Well, I mean, it definitely played a huge role in it because that helped them continue to lead down on that in the fourth quarter to make that field goal ultimately. But I mean, it was multiple things that played into it. Obviously, you got the Juju fumble that played a role into it. You have the Jalen Samuels interception early on in the game that played into it. It's multiple things that play into a game. That's what we always say. It's never one thing. As much as we want to make it like that, it just never is, man.
No, I definitely do. And I will say this, to be a little more level-headed, the Devin Bush interception could have potentially went the other way.
Easily.
As well as the Deontay Johnson catch and fumble.
Yes.
So,
because if they don't rule that catch as a catch and fumble, it's not looking good for us. Remember, they gave him the first down. Here's the hit right here too.
Okay, let me see this.
Is it yes or no? Is that hit worse?
He led with the head.
Yeah. Hey, tell me. You're seeing it, right? Tell me.
It was worse.
Led with the head. And if Russell passes out if Russell gets knocked out right there, you're feeling drastically different, correct?
Russell just never gets hurt though. So.
Correct. But does that make that hit any less violent than the Earl Thomas hit?
It was worse.
It was way worse. It's not even close. It's not even close. It was nothing about that hit that said I'm leading with my hands. Nothing about that. That was straight FaceTime, full Wi-Fi, and my phone on the charger. I'm ready to go. That's what that was.
That was, yeah. No, yeah, I'm with you, dude. I'm with you, dude. I'm definitely with you. I'm a fan, but I think from the conversations you have with me, I can be.
You do.
I can have that level-headedness, and
you're a work in progress, man. I like your growth and development, though. All right. I like every once in a while it comes like I'm like, oh, Deke, don't do it, Deke, don't go down that dark path, Deke, don't you do it, baby.
It's weird because I think I've gotten better up until maybe this, honestly, doing the podcast.
Hey, man, it happens. It happens. But this is therapeutic because Steeler Nation needs to hear this stuff. It's more people out here that need this, and we put our therapy sessions on display for the world to see. Don't you love it? Because you're a movement, Deke.
Come on, dude.
People love you, Deke. You the man.
I appreciate that. I appreciate the love, definitely. What else we got on Doc here?
Man, so let's talk about the super bold call overtime, choosing to defer. Yeah. Tell me your initial reaction. And
initial, I hated it. I was like, "You've got to be kidding me!"
I'm just glad that you were honest.
You've got to be kidding me. Yeah. And the more I thought of it, defense has been playing good. Mm-hmm. This way too, I don't think they're going to score a touchdown.
Okay.
If they do score the field goal, we still got a shot.
Okay.
So. This isn't the worst case scenario. I'm still not a fan of it.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, the defense stops them. Right. Great call. Hell of a call. Good call. And where did we get the ball at? It was like the 30, 35. I can't remember. It was pretty decent field position.
Yeah, it was.
And then the Juju fumble, that had nothing to do with the call to actually defer. Yeah. I heard Mike Tomlin's explanation after.
Talk about it.
He laid it out there perfectly. It's something that I had no clue of or would have thought of at the time.
And a lot of people don't. A lot of people don't. It's been going on for years. A lot of people don't. Golly. Ever since they changed the kickoff, where you kick the ball off from, teams have been doing that. And people never catch on to it.
We weren't getting it past the 20.
Mm-hmm.
And
it's strategic.
You never know. I mean, I don't know what he's thinking. Obviously, I'm saying with Duck, like, hey, let's sling it out there. He's been doing his thing, it factor, all this. But in the back of his mind, he's probably thinking third string quarterback. We could easily go 3 and out here, punt it, shitty punt, or even a good punt. They're
on the short side of the field, or exactly. Close to the 50. And with Tucker, once you get to the paint, hey, he's in range.
And then the field goal wins it in that scenario, as opposed to it just ties it and we still have a chance. So I'm all about it, even though I don't know how much I'm playing the result here because the Ravens score a touchdown. I'm fuming.
You're losing your mind. So for me, I'll tell you right away, man, I'm not even gonna lie. Like I was over here like, what? What do you mean? This isn't college, bro. Like you're playing with fire. And a step further, as well as the defense was playing, I'm like, hey, they just gave up a drive. Granted, that's what I texted
you. Yeah. You could have a long pass interference.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm like, granted, that drive that they had to get the game time field goal was off of a bogus Ola roughing the passer call. But I'm like, you're one call away from something janky happening like that. And these PI calls, the way they've been going, like, it's just so much uncertainty with that. I personally didn't like it. I understand the logic because, hey, being in that game, playing versus the Baltimore Ravens for numerous years, I understand that they like to do that. They hang the ball up in the air 5-6 seconds. You look on film, you're like, yo, these guys are flying. And you're like, no, they're not. They're regular to slow-speeded guys, but because the ball is hanging up so long, they're inside the 20 by the time you catch the ball. It's a recipe for disaster. And for those that say, hey, man, just let the ball bounce to the end zone, it sounds good until it doesn't. Now, what are you going to do when the ball's sitting on the 2? They can recover it, and they got the ball on the 2, or you pick it up on the 2 and get smashed.
Exactly.
Like, nah, that's a recipe for disaster. And teams have been trying to do it. People would get on Boz and Danny Smith all the time because they try to do it. It's very tough to do.
I'm sure.
It's a very, like, that's a very unique skill that Justin Tucker has. And you see it even with punters. People get on Jordan Berry. Oh man, he needs to kick it further. He needs to kick it like da da da. What they're trying to do is punt the ball with a ton of hang time, put it in a corner. So that way, by the time you get it, everybody has you surrounded. It's hard to do, but if you can't accomplish it, man, that's a lethal weapon. But the casual people, the people who just like to watch it, they don't understand it, or they just look at the numbers and they're like, well, the stats say he does this and this and this. I'm like, but are you understanding what they're trying to accomplish? Are you understanding what that means? Most people don't. They just read the numbers off and say, oh, that's bad or that's good. No, it's a lot that goes into it. And that's why, like, for Tucker, man, yeah, understanding that theory of thinking, man, like you said, they catch that ball and they get tackled inside the 20 with your third string quarterback. Who knows what's going to happen? Who knows? So it's dangerous, period. It's dangerous, man.
100%. Dude.
It worked out, though. Hindsight being 2020, it worked out. I personally wouldn't make that call, though. No. I don't care. Like, give me the ball first. Give me the opportunity to score. Let me live with at least having the opportunity, because how sick would you feel?
Yeah, dude. If it was a touchdown, I'd be...
You'd be livid. I would be livid.
Yeah.
I would have been up here criticizing Coach T on every platform that I'm on, just because, like, why would you make that call?
Yeah.
But because it worked out, you say great call. I laugh because...
I'm sure he considered that, though. You know, like, that's the decision you got to make as the leader, one way or another.
Yeah. So, you can't live in your fears. And you know, this is a prime example of the result dictating how you feel, right? So people talked about the Wildcat play with Jalen Samuels. Terrible call. Why would you call the Wildcat at that part of the game, at that end of the field, to that side of the field? But if it works out and it's a 20-yard gain, or it's a great call. I love the creativity. Gutsy, you're playing to win. Now, Coach T, he's a flip-flop, right? So they criticizing Randy Fichtner. They're criticizing Jalen Samuels for that. If it would have been the reverse, though, and Coach T says, hey, defer, and they go down the field and score, you're the most dumb head coach ever. I can't believe this. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Like, that's how it goes, man.
I don't know, dude.
That's how it goes.
The thing is, with the Samuels one, though, I don't know if anyone's saying him, not the call, the call, but more his decision to throw it.
Okay.
In the coverage, there's a couple guys around, and just the bad throw in general. I don't know.
So this is what I wanted to.
I don't know either way. Right? Even if he caught it, and maybe gained 5 yards. I don't know if anyone's saying like, "Hey, that was a great call."
Hey, all I want to say is this, right? So, because I knew it was good. This is the thing I want to talk about. Because I had people say, "Hey, man, why would he throw that? Right? Why? Just throw it away, right? That's what you say. Just throw it away. Take the hit. Just throw it away."
I know me. I'm not throwing it away. I mean, I want the glory. I want to try to make a play.
All I'm gonna say is this. It's so easy. You guys control climbing. You got your Crocs on. You relaxed, right? It's easy to watch it and say, hey, man, you could just do that. Or you could put a foot in the ground, cut it over here. Just for the listeners, let me let y'all know how fast it's happening, what it's like. Imagine if you go stand on the interstate right now. Just go stand in the middle of the interstate. No car. Nobody. Just stand in the middle of the interstate and watch the cars go by you at 70, 80, 90 miles an hour. And just feel how that feels. Like, whoa, oh, God, And now let me watch it, though, and be like, oh, all you got to do is just step over here and just do it like that. And, man, it's right there. Just throw it right there. That's what it's like as a fan when you're watching versus when you're actually out there, bro. And it's not just a Jalen Samuels thing, because a lot of times people will say, well, hey, man, he's not used to having the ball in his hand. That's true. But we saw Mason Rudolph do the same thing, right? San Francisco 49ers, hey, you're under pressure. Just throw the ball away. It doesn't always work like that. It's happening very fast out there. And a lot of times you're trying to think it through. Oh, yeah. We did this in practice. It worked like that. I'm just saying, man, it's a lot easy to sit up in here in this AC, watch these TVs, watch it on your phone and make those type of statements. And it's drastically different when you're out there.
I know. And well, this is another point to what you're saying. But your response was really funny to me whenever I asked you.
Yeah.
Because if this is the Juju fumble thing. Because if I'm out there, dude, every time I'm holding the ball, someone's gonna make a fumble from me. Because there's no, like, whenever I see replays of dudes, and you got a defender trying to whack at the ball, I'm like, holy hell, how the hell did he hold on to it?
Right.
So that's why I asked you. I said, I mean, is there anything he could have really done about that, or was it just a good play?
You have to hold it, man. I don't care. And this is something that Coach Thomas says. When I text you, I said, bro, it doesn't matter what they're doing. You hold on to that ball because you're carrying the team's hopes and dreams. Every time you have that ball, that's the team's hopes and dreams. You turn that ball over, you're killing your team.
Is there a way, though, you're holding the ball?
I mean, if you want to go like
it's
technically.
It's impossible to hit it out.
No. Like technically, the way you do it, you have like, they call it like the 5 points of pressure. So you got your hand on it, your the end part of your forearm, your bicep, your shoulder, and then you either like your forearm acts as another part, and then it's across your body, which is the 5th part, and they call it like high and tight. Mm-hmm. That's one thing. Or you just got the guys who are just like, you could double arm it, put 2 hands on it. That's another option. Like you said, man, it's just one of those things. It doesn't matter. Like, you just can't fumble in that situation. Mm-hmm. Like, period. And what did I tell you? I was like, you see guys punch at balls. You see guys rip at balls all the time. But do you see AB, for example? How many times have you seen every play when he's out there, somebody would be trying to punch at the ball, rip the ball right after a catch, whatever. He's not letting go of that. You see Julio, same concept. You see DeAndre Hopkins, same concept. It's just, it doesn't matter, man. When it's crunch time, when you got that ball, even Le'Veon, think about Le'Veon. He didn't get hit with guys putting their helmet on the ball, guys punching. And that's why I'm just like, I understand when people, it's like, you don't have to make it this is about juju thing. It's just about, you have to hold that ball. I don't care who it is. If they're trusting you to put that ball in your hand, you can't give it up. Even when Deontay Johnson fumbled on Monday night, I was like, bro, I don't care. Like, you can't fumble. It's never acceptable, period.
Yeah.
And that's why, because you never know, man, when it's going to cost, what is going to give up. And in that situation, the timing of it killed them. It's no different than James Conner 2 weeks ago in San Fran.
No,
it's rough, man.
No, definitely.
You gotta hold it, man. You figure it out.
Definitely.
If you can't figure it out, then you don't need to be out there. And that's just how it goes. Because if that's the case, and that was the next thing, people would crown in Marlon Humphrey now. Oh, that was a great play by him, man. He just, sometimes when you do that, man, ain't no defense for it, man. It's it's how you stop that, right? If that's the case, he'd be a Hall of Famer. Because think about this, on the Juju touchdown, exact same play. Marlon didn't go for the tackle. He went for the punch. And what did Juju do?
Stiff arm.
Exactly.
That's what he said. And it became a touchdown. That's what he said in his interview.
Yeah, it was the exact same play, exact same motion. So for me, that's why I'm just kind of like, you can't have it both ways. You can't 1 minute, it was just such a great play by the defender. Oh man, you can't put it on Juju. This is a great play, man. This guy's awesome at that. And the next one, you're like, yeah, that's how you handle him, man. You just stiff arm that. Like, no, bro, you can just, whatever you got to do, you do not let him force that fumble. You cannot turn the ball over, period. And that's the part that sucks, because you lose, and that's one of the plays that are highlighted. But in the end, man, it just goes back to the basic fundamentals. You have to protect that ball because you carry everything with you.
Did you see that tweet that's out there?
What tweet?
It showed like probably 10 Steeler receivers.
Yeah.
Their first 2 years. Did you see that?
I did.
Juju's.
Yeah, I saw
his two fumbles just happened to be the Saints in this one.
Yeah. I definitely saw
it. But timing is everything, right?
Absolutely. Listen, how many times have we seen James Conner fumble? But how many times have they came at critical junctures of the game?
Because, I said that to you. I've said that to you before, like off camera. That Browns game last year, I know Ben didn't have a good game, or the offense didn't have a good game, but in the flow of the game, we were still winning. Like Absolutely. It wasn't anything like critical that was happening. We still had control. When it was whatever it was, we were down on like our own goal line.
Absolutely.
That's what kind of like flipped it for us. So it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. Yeah.
Time is everything. And also, I'll tell you, man, the numbers, just be careful with the numbers. That's all I say. Be careful with the numbers. The numbers will make you believe whatever you want to believe. Is it not the truth? We talk about this all the time, right? You look at the numbers will make you feel like something is just super special when it's average. And then you look at the numbers sometimes and you're like, oh, that looks average, and it's really special.
I'm just trying to hop on this bandwagon before.
Hey, man. I'm going to continue to operate the way I operate, man.
Duck Dynasty here.
I'm going to operate how I operate, man. Like I said, I want him to ball out, though. Without a doubt, I do.
So what do we have? We've said this last couple of weeks, just going forward now. And I think this is what I touched on at the beginning of the podcast, what makes it so just like I'm gripping sand with my fist. Like I'm just really frustrated because you see what everything could be.
Right.
Especially if Ben was out there. But I'm not going to get into that. I've probably said too much about all that. Even with our backup or third string quarterback in there, there's still something there.
Absolutely.
And it just is like, man, we're 1-4 though.
Mm-hmm.
The margin for errors like this now.
Absolutely.
And I don't want to get my expectations too high, because I did last week after the Bengals game.
As you should though.
But I still got to stay there. I still got to.
Yeah. If this game was a blowout, or if this game like we were outmatched, totally different.
Yeah.
Was that the case?
No, it's not. That's why they're
realistically, could they have won that? Realistically,
well, come on, man. Could have won. We could be 3-2, 4-1, right? They're keeping me around.
Man, the biggest thing is they just gotta continue to operate with more detail. That's the biggest thing I take away from it, because talent-wise,
the schedule's there. The schedule's there too.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Well, I'm like, man, everything is lined up for them. They just have to go out there and execute, and they'll be fine.
Colts did it last year. I think they were 1-4, 1-5, and then the year before that, I think it was the Alex Smith Chiefs. Yeah. They were 0-5.
No, 0-4. They beat us, the Steelers. That would have been in. Oh man, this would have been in 15.
Are we thinking the same year?
It's 15 or 16. They started out 0-4. We play them at their spot. Ben is hurt. Landry Jones starts the quarterback. Yeah.
That was my run. Oh,
that was my second year.
That was longer than I thought.
Yeah, that was my second year in Pittsburgh. Yeah, I remember that, because that was our first, like, the breast cancer game was when it first started, because I remember having the pink on, and I got matched with Travis Kelce. He scored a touchdown. I was low-key sick, because this was before, like, people knew, like, how good he was. And I remember getting him like, yo, you let the tight end catch on you, man. What the heck, man? You got to stop him. And he just goes on to be all pro that shit. I'm like, yeah, everybody. Yeah. I got some words I really want to say to y'all, but this is PG-13, so I'm gonna leave it to myself. But just know, yeah, man,
it's been done. So
absolutely, man.
I'm holding out hope.
Well, I will say this too, man. I want to personally, I got to make a statement, man.
Okay.
Coach T, Keith Butler. They receive a lot of criticism, right? People talking about, oh, man, they terrible, man. Fire them all. They don't make adjustments. The defense is trash. Can we all just agree that this defense has been continuing to ball out?
It's awesome.
And it's been looking great. Can we agree with that?
That's what's making me mad.
No. But before you even get to what's making you mad, can we just agree? Because how many times do we talk about, oh, this defense? It's the coaching. Keith Butler, trash, fire him. Mike Tomlin, trash, fire him. How many times have we heard that? But we're sitting here talking about how this defense continues to produce, continues to create turnovers, continues to ball out. But no one wants to give them the credit, all right? Nobody.
I do.
Okay, just make sure if you're listening.
This is why I thought 15
put your respect on them.
Because
no, you might have, but we can both agree.
Right.
A large portion of Steeler Nation was not agreeing with that, and even today, even now,
I don't know how they could though.
But even now, this is the thing that kills me. Even now. Instead of them talking about his good, you know what they're talking about? Oh, it's the clock management. Oh, man, we got to focus on the clock, man. We got to focus on the situation stuff. I'm like, bro, all I'm saying is this, man. Critique that. That's cool. But also praise them when they do what they're supposed to do, man. And they've been doing that. So you can critique. I've been on record numerous times talking about the Coach Thomas clock management and how he struggles with using the timeouts and that type of stuff. And rightfully so. But at the same time, if you're going to sit here and criticize him for that, you better praise him for when he made them adjustments, because they were down 17 zip, and they ain't give up another point until the last drive of the fourth quarter, and then a Juju fumble in overtime that led to the other 3 points. So people talk about them, hey man, Belichick makes adjustments, it's coaching. This guy does that, is coaching. Just give them their due. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. If you're gonna critique them, praise them at the same. When they do something good, you give them their love, and that's. You know why I like the fact that we got this platform, Deke, because we're able to be the voice of reason.
Right.
We're able to give the people not what they want, what they need.
That's true. It's
all out there, baby. Boom.
No more. Yeah. You got to give the credit where credit's due. I'm completely on board with that. It's tough to deny, but like you said, if people want to focus on that other stuff or the negative, then they can. But up until this point, I think the defense is balled out.
Absolutely.
We kind of got dealt a tough hand on offense, but
it's been bad.
But they've been keeping afloat.
Well, yeah, all things considered, yeah.
I still before this week, but actually, honestly, I might outside of the record, being 1-4. That's kind of why I'm lamenting all this stuff. It might be too little, too late, but it's only 4. You could still be 10-6. You could toss 2 more. The schedule's kind of easy. Anyway, I'm liking Duck, so I might even be more optimistic.
Hey man, we got hope.
Just in terms of the general play, but we'll see.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. Just let me see how it plays out, man. I guess I'm all for it because if they win, that helps us.
It definitely does.
Yeah, man.
It definitely does. But yeah, you think we got everything here?
I think so, man. Yeah. That was a good one.
Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely, man. I know y'all enjoyed it, man. So I always appreciate y'all tuning in, baby.
Definitely.
And until next time.
Peace.